Hey, I didn't set out with a plan to build a homeschool community, but now that I have, I've learned a couple things that make it work, and they're not really what I expected them to be. I think that the biggest thing is the feeling of belonging, and people want to go where they feel like they belong. And it's such a cool feeling to go to the park and you see the parents sitting there talking, hanging out, and all of us moms just getting along. And I can tell, like, we as the adults enjoy the meetups as much as the kids do. And that's hard to find sometimes where you can have real, genuine connections and just enjoy the people. Like when new people come in, there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of acceptance. And as the adults, we try and connect the teens together with the right age group and we try and help the kids make those connections, but we don't even have to a lot of the times. The kids are just so open and welcoming. And so it's a really cool thing. And I think that despite everything else, that is the biggest part of a homeschool group that works. You can have the best plan, you can have the biggest draw, cool merch, a really good whatever your pull is. It can be amazing. But if you can't form those connections and if people don't feel welcome and like they belong, they're not going to stay. It's not going to be a successful group because nobody wants to sit where they don't feel like they're part of the group. Like it can be uncomfortable to go and meet new families and to sit in a park. And if you're sitting in a park and you're super uncomfortable, it's really hard to justify bringing your kids every week and doing that. So honestly, the biggest thing for Salt and Light is just the feeling of pure acceptance and love. Like we have such an amazing group. I can't even begin to explain how much this group of families has just blessed my life. And I think that if it weren't for who was brought into the group, who God put into the group, I don't think it would be what it is today. And, I think another thing would be that you have to have a plan. Like, there has to be consistency. It doesn't have to be the greatest plan, but you have to have some consistency. So, for our group, we meet up every Friday. And there are exceptions. We didn't meet on Good Friday, some holidays. And then I try and avoid school breaks as much as possible because the parks get stupid crowded here when the public school is out. So, but for the most part, with very few exceptions, we meet every single Friday at various locations around our community. And I think just knowing, my kids know every single Friday there will be a meetup and we will see their friends and it's going to be fun. And I mean, the consistency is awesome, but the group is amazing. Like these families show up week after week. Like I know I can rattle off at least 10 families that I know are going to be there on Friday, and their kids will be there. And my kids know their kids will be there, and they're so excited every week. And I think that when you have that consistency, you have a set plan, and they know what's coming up and they can plan for it and they can plan around it. I think that's huge in being successful. Because if every week the plan changes and you don't know what time it's going to be, you don't know where it's going to be, you don't know who's going to be there, it changes your own commitment to going. Like, obviously, I have to go, I lead it, so I will be there every single week, barring sickness. But if I wasn't the leader and I was like, oh, I don't know if so and so will be there, or I don't know if my kids will like any, like, we don't have that in the group. We know people are going to show up and we know that their friends will be there every week. And I think that is huge and fundamental in running a successful group, because even with the best plan, if it's shifting and changing all the time, then people can't plan around that and people won't plan around it. It's hard to make a commitment when you don't know what that commitment actually looks like. And so the next thing would be probably that there has to be a leader. And I mean, I knew this intellectually going into leading the group. I knew there had to be a leader. But at the same time, it felt very foreign to me the first couple times people came to me asking questions, asking clarifying questions, or just, for further information. And I'm like, oh, I am the one who has to answer that question. I am the one who has to, kind of make those decisions. And I'm the one who decides, like, if we change locations because of weather, or if like construction's going on. There have been a lot of renovations in our community lately, so there have been changes along the way, and I've been the one who's had to make that call. And I'm thankful now that we have a board that I can turn to. There's a group of other moms in the community that come alongside me, and I can kind of bounce ideas off of them now. But in the beginning, it was 100% whatever I was saying was what was going. And which is why I created the board. I like that accountability. I like another set of eyes to look at what I'm doing, because I might not have all of the information and other people might have some good input. But there has to be clear leadership, whether it's a board, whether it's a single person. If there is not a leader, it's not going to happen. The best intentions can be set, but if you don't have someone leading and being like, this is what we're doing, then it can be chaos, and chaos cannot be like it's not going to be a successful community if there aren't clear boundaries. And so I enjoy the leadership role. I didn't know that I would. I didn't actually think that I would enjoy calling the shots as much as, it's nice to know that people can depend on me and I can be there and I can make those decisions. But it's also good to know that I'm not alone in doing that anymore, and that I can turn to other people and be like, hey, I need some help. So that's been really cool. I think another big thing that that you don't really think about when you're starting a group, because there's a lot that goes into it, but you don't think about the fact that at the end of the day, your plan is not what's running the group. It's the community and it's the relationships. And I know that on off days, there are families who go and meet up and create their own memories and do that, and it's because of the community and the relationships that are built. The only reason that the group is going to be successful is going to be that connection. It's not the activities, it's not the park, it's not choosing the best locations or having cool music playing in the background. It's going to be the connections that families make, that kids make, that you make it with other parents. Because if you can't sit and have a good conversation with the parent, you're not going to go out of your way all the time, no matter how much fun your kids have. At least me personally, I know that my time matters too. So if I'm not going to be going and enjoying myself, then it's kind of like, this isn't something that we need to feed into every week. Thankfully, once you have those connections, that group is solid. And like I said in my last video, you can take me out of the equation and this group isn't going anywhere, because the connections that have formed and the relationships that have been built within this community, they're solid. And I don't think I realized, I don't think I really realized the importance of what those connections would mean for the group. In my head, it was make a plan, execute the plan, create a yearbook, the group is good. And that's not what it's about. It's really about those relationships, and it's about those friendships, and it's all about the connections. And I just thank God that he brought the families into the group that he did, because like I said before, Salt and Light would not be the group it is today without the families that are now in it. And I couldn't be happier.